Hanami stood in two pieces. The cut was absolute. Cleave doesn't cut the way a blade cuts. A blade has a limit. A blade meets resistance and either pushes through it or stops. Cleave adjusts. It reads the target's toughness and cursed energy level and calibrates itself to be exactly enough to finish the job in one strike. Against Hanami, a special grade curse, Cleave had calibrated to something devastating. The forest, dissolved. Wasuke was still on the ground, not moving. Shuji stood outside the collapsed manifestation field. He had been standing in the same position since the cleave fired. He was completely shocked.
That is not supposed to happen,
he said. Then the temperature dropped. Every surface in the sealed district frosting over simultaneously. Shuji's breath becoming visible. The moisture in the air crystallizing around him. Shuji turned. He heard footsteps from the far end of the streets. A figure emerging through the frost. Shuji felt the cursed energy output before he saw the face. It was Uraume. Uraume walked through the sealed district without looking at Shuji, without acknowledging his existence, seeing only one thing. They stopped, stood over Wasuke, and knelt slowly. Lord Sukuna's soul, Uraume said quietly, I finally found you. Before we talk about Uraume, we need to talk about Shuji's technique, because what just happened only makes sense if you understand what Shuji's technique actually is. Cursed energy leaves marks. That is the foundation of everything. Every moment of overwhelming negative emotion strong enough to produce cursed energy leaves a trace on the environment it happened in. Most sorcerers can feel these traces vaguely. Shuji reads them completely. His cursed technique, Echoes of Suffering, allows him to perceive and extract cursed energy residuals from any location where a significant battle or traumatic event left its mark. Shuji can find it, pull it out, and force a target to physically interact with the reconstruction of that historical moment. That is what the Kyoto Goodwill Event Forest was. The technique has two limitations though. First, the reconstructions, which are called echoes, don't fight Wasuke as Wasuke. Shuji's technique copies the cursed energy signature of the original targets, in this case Yuji Itadori and Todo during the Kyoto Goodwill events. The Echo perceives Wasuke as those two people, and fights him the way Hanami fought them. And when the historical moment should have ended, when Hanami retreated from Gojo's hollow purple, Shuji's technique intervenes. It extends the moment through cursed energy output and keeps the Echo alive past the point history originally allowed. The Echo doesn't stop until Shuji lets it stop or until it is destroyed. That is the real technique. Not just reading history, it is also rewriting how long it lasts. Second, and this is the one even Shuji didn't know about, the technique works both ways. When Shuji reads a cursed energy trace, he doesn't just look at it from the outside, he absorbs it, takes it inside himself, processes it through his own perception before turning it into an echo. Every echo Shuji has ever built required him to first take the original cursed energy into himself, which means Shuji isn't just a reader, he's a receiver and a transmitter at the same time. Think of it like a radio tower. A radio tower picks up a signal, processes it, and then broadcasts that same signal outward, whether it wants to or not. Anyone tuned to the right frequency can hear it. Shuji's technique works exactly the same way. Whatever cursed energy he absorbs to build an echo, he radiates outward, automatically, without choosing to, without even knowing it is happening. And this time, what he was carrying was the strongest thing he had ever absorbed. But here's what Shuji didn't understand until Uraume was already kneeling over Wasuke's body. The figure emerging through the frost wasn't the real Uraume. Uraume died a long time ago, the moment Sukuna fell in Shinjuku. What Shuji's technique had broadcast wasn't just Sukuna's soul signature. It had absorbed Uraume's cursed energy traces too, the emotional imprint of 1,000 years of devotion to one's soul. It found the most significant cursed energy response to that signature in history and reconstructed it. Uraume's hand was on Wasuke's chest. Something underneath Wasuke's skin was waking up. Not consciousness, not yet. Just cursed energy reorganizing itself. Shuji took a step back. Somewhere in the thousands of historical fragments he had absorbed across his career, he had read about this exact signature, the body refusing the verdict, cursed energy flipping its polarity at the last possible second, turning destruction into its own undoing. Reverse curse technique. There you are, Uraume said quietly. Uraume's hand stayed exactly where it was. Wasuke didn't move either, not yet. His body had not caught up to the fact that it was supposed to be dead. He just lay there, breathing, feeling the cold concrete underneath him and the strange warmth of someone's hand on his chest. Shuji stood several feet back. He had not moved since the moment Wasuke's eyes opened. He just watched. The boy who shouldn't have survived, and the thing that shouldn't exist, looking at each other in the wreckage of a trial that was never supposed to go this far. Shuji had built echoes before. He had watched people survive impossible things before, but he had never watched something like this. A dead boy waking up, and the most loyal follower in Jujutsu history kneeling beside him like they had been waiting their whole existence for exactly this moment. He didn't know what came next. Across the city, Modulo Yuji felt it the instant it happened. He had been standing completely still for almost a full minute, not moving, barely breathing, because Wasuke's cursed energy, the signature he had known since Wasuke was 6 years old, had simply gone out. And then, all at once, it came back. Modulo Yuji's whole body relaxed for just a second. Wasuke was alive. But underneath that signature, there was something else now. Something old. Something that had not been there an hour ago. He didn't know what it was. He only knew it scared him. Modulo Yuji looked around the apartment. Everything was exactly the same as it had been. The table and the hoodie still folded. Still sitting exactly where Wasuke had left it 2 days ago. Right before he walked out the door for the very last time. Modulo Yuji picked it up. Held it for a moment. He had signed a vow. He was not allowed to interfere with the trial, not allowed to help, not allowed to step in, no matter what happened. But was this still the trial? Wasuke had already died once. Something new had arrived that nobody, not the higher-ups, not Shuji, not even Modulo Yuji himself had ever planned for. Maybe the rules didn't cover this anymore. Maybe they did. He didn't know. And for the first time in a very long time, Modulo Yuji didn't wait to find out. He picked up the hoodie, held it tightly in one hand, and walked toward the door.